Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to another video. Today we are doing another tier rank video, but this time we are going to be ranking book tropes. So far, all of my tier ranking videos on my channel have been like for books specifically, but this one I feel like is gonna be a lot more fun because we're just gonna be talking about general tropes. So like if you haven't read all the books I'm tier ranking, it'll still be entertaining for you, I hope. So let's just like get right into it. Let's see what we're working with. Okay, so here we are. I have actually just chosen a tier list template that was already on tiermaker.com. I just feel like it would be a lot more fun to like go into this blind, use someone else's template and show you like more first reactions to the book tropes that we're gonna be ranking instead of me like collecting them and already having a feeling of like where I'm gonna put things, you know what I mean? So this was just like one of the top most popular fictional tropes tier list makers on the website, and so this is what we're gonna work with. I do think though I want to change these headings, rank tier titles because I don't really resonate on what these are called. Like I don't really say heck yes, I don't really say fattest no, like that's just not me. So we're gonna make these more relevant to myself. So our S tier or top tier, whatever you want to call it, is going to be eats every time, meaning whenever I read this trope, like I eat it up. Second tier is going to be top trope, meaning that it is a very good trope, but like it's not top tier. It doesn't eat every single time. Third tier, I'm going to call only if it's done well. This is gonna be reserved for those tropes that like have worked sometimes, but like not all the time. Next tier is going to be absolutely not. And then my last tier, I do want to reserve a tier just for tropes that like maybe I'm not sure of, or tropes that I've never experienced or read, or like I just don't know what it means. So I'm gonna save this tier for those. I'm gonna call it no idea what this is. Okay, so we're ready. Let's just start. Right off the bat, we have abusive parents. Oh my gosh. I thought this was gonna be like more of a lighthearted video, but this is okay. I guess that's the mood. So I'm guessing this is like our main character having abusive parents and then just like dealing with that. This is done in quite a few books. I'm gonna say if it's done well, this can be a great trope to like push a plot forward or like for character development. So I don't know, I'm gonna put it there. That's kind of a tough one, to be honest. AI relationship. What? AI relation, I don't. Oh, is this like in that movie Her, where like he dates like an AI person, like you date some sort of a robot? I'm gonna put this in absolutely not. Not my cup of tea. Her, I think, was a good movie, but I felt really uncomfortable throughout the whole thing, and I don't think I've actually read a book with that trope. Yeah, I don't know, I'm just gonna say absolutely not. That's just kind of weird, falling in love with like a robot. Ally turned antagonist. Ooh, this one's pretty good. I'm gonna say this is a top trope. Sometimes it breaks my heart when like I really love the ally or the friend, but like this can be done really well. Amnesia. Okay. I have read a couple books where our main character like forgets everything and then has to like be reminded of things. I feel like whenever I read a book or like watch something that has this trope, I get so frustrated because it's one of those tropes that makes you really like scream. It makes you really frustrated. It makes you feel like you need to like scream at the main character and like remind them of things that they have forgotten. So I'm gonna say only if it's done well. Sometimes it can get too frustrating. Sometimes it can be used very, very cleverly and it gets you like really immersed and emotional about it. Antagonist turned ally. Okay, this is the opposite of ally turned antagonist. I think this is another one, like only if it's done well, because I just feel like with some antagonists, I can't get myself to like them or trust them ever. So sometimes I just like, I'm not with it, but it can be done well. It can be done well, especially if there's romance involved, but that's a completely different trope. Apocalypse? I don't know, like we all went through our dystopian phase. I feel like these days I'm not really an apocalypse girly. I'm not really like an end of the world girly anymore. It doesn't really get me these days. I would prefer to be whisked away to a completely different make-believe world versus like the end of the world that we are currently living in, if that makes sense. Arranged marriage. Ooh. This one is another tough one because arranged marriage or like forced marriage can be so good in a fantasy. But if it's done in like, I don't know, contemporary romance or something like that, I'm not really into it. So this is gonna be an only if it's done well. I feel like this middle tier is gonna be a big one. I feel like most of these tropes are gonna go in there. Avenging dead friend or family. Oh, eats. Absolutely eats every time. Like we have like a friend, a family member, or a loved one that just like gets killed and then we just like rage and get revenge. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely yes. Bad boy and good girl. Okay, we're getting into some romance ones now. This is fun. I feel like this can be very overdone. Sometimes these days, like honestly, I prefer bad girl, good boy. Like in Throne of Glass, like where we have this really like assassin character as our female main character, and then everyone she dates is more like tamer than her and has to like actually bring her down. I feel like I've been preferring that. I don't know. I'm gonna say if it's done well. Beautiful MC doesn't realize she's pretty. Oh my god. This one is so annoying. Absolutely not. I mean, this trope is used in most books, I feel like, but I get really annoyed at it. Like most books you read, you have like at least an above average looking main character, right? But sometimes they like always talk themselves down, just like constantly believe that they're like not attractive and don't deserve anything. And like, why would this guy even like take a double look at me? Like he's so out of my league. It's so overdone. I get annoyed at it. BFF sibling romance. No, I'm just gonna say no. Betrayal. Top trope. It hurts in the best way possible. Would not want that done to me, but if I'm reading about it or like watching it happen, then sure. Body swap. Like a Freaky Friday situation. I enjoyed the movie Freaky Friday, but it just kind of like freaks me out. I'm gonna say no to the body swap. I would prefer people to stay in their bodies. Unless they're like shifting, like unless it's a fantasy and they're like shifting into their like animal form or their like fae form or something. I like that, but if you're actually like fully swapping bodies with someone else, then like no, it's kind of strange. Catty crazy ex. I'm gonna say no. Whenever the ex is brought into the occasion in a romance, it just like annoys me. Like I don't want to focus on the ex, I want to focus on like the present and where we are currently. So no. Child of MC sequel. Have I read anything like that? I've read like sibling of the MC sequel. I don't know if I've actually read like a child of the MC becoming like the MC. I'm gonna put this in no idea what this is, or I'm gonna add have not read. I don't know, I've never experienced this, so I can't say anything about it. Chosen one. I'm gonna say this is a top trope. Like I love a good chosen one story. It hits every time. It's not like an eats every time because it's like so expected, but I'm gonna say it's good. I know a lot of people get annoyed at the whole chosen one thing. It's like fun for me. It's exciting. It's like when the chosen one is forced on this journey that they don't want to go on. I like it. Coming of age. If it's done well. I don't think I have any like extreme feelings about that, so sure. Controlling dystopian government. Again, only if it's done well. Like I enjoy a good controlling government. I'm not really into the whole dystopian thing these days anymore, although one could argue like Fourth Wing is a little bit dystopian. I feel like I don't seek it out, but when it's done well, I enjoy it. Damsel in distress. This might be like very backwards of me to say, but I love a good damsel in distress story. But like I love having like a main character who like needs to be rescued, but then like also along the story like builds her own strength and like is able to rescue herself. You know what I mean? But if there's like a damsel in distress scene in like a romance or a romantasy, I don't hate it. Dark-haired hot male villain. I'm married, you guys, okay? This eats every time. Dark, mysterious, brooding, L.I.? Dark, mysterious, brooding, love interest, L.I. Okay, I'm kind of like behind with the slang, so I apologize, but eats every time. And again, I'm married. Dead or missing girl, yeah. Sure. In a nice like thriller, like a mystery, I love that. I'm gonna say this is a top trope. Dead parents, oh. I'm gonna say only if it's done well for this one, because it can be done well, but sometimes I feel like the dead parent trope can become like the entire personality of a character, or like become the only issues of a character. And I know that like obviously in real life, like that's a very tough thing to deal with, but like sometimes in books, this trope can kind of overpower everything in the rest of the story. So I'm gonna say if it's done well. Dragons eats every time. We know I love a good dragon. Enemies to lovers. I would totally put this in eats every time, but I do think, this may be controversial, that enemies to lovers is being overdone these days. I think, okay? And this is coming from someone who, like, some of my favorite books of all time are enemies to lovers. Like, I love this trope, but only if it's done well, because I feel like every book these days, especially in the romantasy genre, tries to do enemies to lovers, and sometimes it just feels like we are doing enemies to lovers to do enemies to lovers, and it just feels forced, and like we get the same lines, like the whole like "who did this to you" line, which is a whole trope in itself, but like sometimes it doesn't eat. It doesn't eat every time. But when it eats, it eats. So I'm gonna put it there. Sorry, not sorry. Ex-BFF to popular mean girl. Only if it's done well. It's not a trope that like I don't seek out necessarily, but like that can hurt. Fairy tale retelling, top trope. Fairy tale, but make it dark. Fake relationship. Okay, I have read some good fake dating books, but most of them I dislike. For example, Happy Place. Really loved Happy Place, and it was like kind of a fake dating story, but it only worked for me because the two main characters had a past already. Like they already knew what it was like to date each other. It wasn't just like two random strangers coming together to like date for like, you know, whatever reason. I'm gonna put this in absolutely not, but there are exceptions. Femme fatale character, like an Aelin? I'm gonna say top trope. I feel like this could also maybe be overdone sometimes, but in general, I love a good, like, strong female lead. Forbidden love eats every time. I'm just a girl and I love a good forbidden love story, which, this is another controversial topic and might make people a little bit mad, but ACOTAR 6, for sure, is gonna be forbidden love trope. That's what I think. It's gonna be forbidden love trope, and I'm so excited for that book. Found family eats every time. Friends to lovers, honestly, kind of bores me sometimes. I'm gonna put this in absolutely not, but again, similar to fake relationships, I have read Friends to Lovers that I like, but I feel like I've disliked it more than I've liked it. So I'm gonna put that in absolutely not. I don't know, I feel like in real life, I love a good Friends to Lover story. It's great, but when I'm reading a book, I want something with like a little more zest than that. And I feel like when characters are friends for so long, there's a reason why they're friends for so long and like not anything more. I don't know, I just don't eat. I just don't eat. Gay BFF. Sure, I'm gonna say if it's done well. Again, it's not like a trope that I seek out. I don't know, it's fun. It lightens up the mood and we get support at the same time. So like, I don't know, I don't have anything bad to say about that one. It's not something I like look for in a book. Heist, I'm gonna put it in top trope. I feel like when you are on a heist, like on a mission, it just makes the book so much more exciting. Like you have this one goal that you're working for and then it all comes together and it's really fun. So top trope. High school cliques. I'm gonna say absolutely not, just because I feel like in this day and age, like I don't really like reading high school books. I appreciate a good YA sometimes, but when it's set in high school and it's like so teenager-y YA, I don't really enjoy that anymore, maybe because I'm old. So I'm just gonna say no for high school cliques these days. Hurt comfort. Huh? I don't really know what this means. Does it mean like when our main character is hurt and then someone's comforting them? I don't know. I don't know what this one means, so I'm gonna say I don't know what this is. Insta-love? No. You guys know my thoughts on that. I need a good slow burn, so we're not doing insta-love here. LGBT plus struggle. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have not read a lot of LGBT plus books, and maybe I need to. I do have Priory of the Orange Tree on my shelf, and I believe that's an LGBT story, so I'm excited to read that, and I have read Song of Achilles, but other than that, I can't think of any other LGBT books that I've read. I've definitely read a lot of books where we have like LGBT plus like side characters and side stories, but not as like the main plot. But I'm gonna say if it's done well, I don't have that much experience with them, and I guess it's not something I naturally seek out, but maybe I should get more into them. Long Lost Royal, yes. I'm gonna say top trope. I love a good long lost royal, and then they like find who they are, like they're like a nobody, and then they like find this like big secret that they've been like hidden, or they're just like they've been born from a lost powerful bloodline. It's just so fun. Love at first sight, no. No, 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 no. Love triangle, you know what? I'm so up and down with the love triangles, because if you asked me last year, I would say absolutely not, just because it hurts me, but it makes for good reading. I'm gonna say only if it's done well, because it can also be done very poorly, but a good love triangle where like you're rooting for the both of them and you don't know who our main character's gonna choose, and like the pain you feel when she chooses one and the other one is left behind, like it hurts so good. The love triangles I don't like are when it's like so obvious the entire time who our main character is gonna choose, and that's what bugs me, is like when she's stringing along someone else for the ride, but like it's so obvious she's not gonna choose them. That's when I hate it. But a good love triangle, when our main character is like actually torn between the two love interests, like I love that. Mafia gang leader love interest. I'm gonna say absolutely not, but it's not really an absolutely not. I feel like I should have made another tier. Maybe I'll make another tier. Can I do that? Okay guys, I've added another tier. I'm gonna revise things, okay? I've added an it's fine, but I don't seek it out tier, because I feel like I need that middle tier. Mafia gang leader, I'm gonna put LGBT struggle. I'm gonna put apocalypse, coming of age, dead parents. We have done some edits, okay? So we have put these cards, or like whatever you wanna call them, tier items. I have moved to it's fine, but I don't seek it out, because I just feel like we needed that middle category. So sorry for the in-between edit, but I needed to do that. I was feeling kind of weird putting certain things in these polarizing categories. Okay, next, Magical Academies, eats every time. We love a good Hogwarts. Yeah, eats. Makeover. I'm gonna say it's fine, but I don't seek it out, because I feel like, why do we need to like make over someone? You know, like aren't we all just beautiful in our natural selves, in our natural bodies, in our natural essence? We don't need makeovers. Why can't we just stay as who we are and like do inner growth? Mary Sue or Gary STU? I know what a Mary Sue is. I don't know what a Gary STU is at all. So I'm gonna say I don't know what that is. Oh, like a Gary Stew, like a male version of a Mary Sue. Okay, I get it, I get it. I'm gonna say it's fine, I don't seek it out. We get a lot of Mary Sues in fantasy just like naturally, and like I don't hate it. I know other people like really get annoyed when we have a Mary Sue character, but I don't hate it. I don't seek it out. I do love quite a few books that have a Mary Sue type character, I guess, but yeah. Meet cute. A meet cute's a top trope. I love a good like funny chance meeting. Mentor dies during grand journey. The way I'm like getting emotional just reading the words, like the title of this trope, like what it's called. Eats every time in the worst way. Mirror description. I don't know what that is. Miscommunication. I'm gonna say absolutely not. But there have been miscommunication books that I like Happy Place. Maybe Happy Place is like the only miscommunication trope book that I've enjoyed. I feel like whenever we have a miscommunication trope, I just get annoyed at it. I'm just like, talk to each other. Like, what's wrong with you? For example, Violet and Xaden in Iron Flame. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of miscommunication there, and it really bugs me. And I love Iron Flame, and I still love the entire Fourth Wing, like the Empyrean series, and I still love the characters and love the story, but I just could not stand their relationship in Iron Flame. I liked everything else that was going on, like the fantasy, politics, the battles, the plot, like the build up to what we were doing. Like I loved everything in that book, but their relationship in that book just was not it. So I don't love a miscommunication trope. Misfit, outsider protagonist. Again, I feel like this is just something that happens in a lot of fantasies especially. So I'm gonna say it's fine, but I don't seek it out. Mommy, daddy issue. I feel like this goes along with the abusive parents. I'm just gonna put it beside there. Mutual pining. Yes, 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 yes. Now I'm gonna move it to top trope. I love a good pining. I love a good slow burn, as I mentioned. I love like feeling that yearning, but I feel like sometimes it can drag on for a little bit too long. And this trope can very easily turn into the miscommunication trope as well. So eats mostly. So it's a top trope. Mysterious new guy. Yes. I love a good mysterious new guy. And I'm married. Naive new girl. It's fine. I don't seek it out. I love a good naive new girl that like builds her strength and like learns things and has like this great progression, but I also love when our girl starts out really strong to begin with. Next door neighbor, like a love interest, like a next door neighbor love interest. If that's what this means, I am not so into it. I feel like this goes kind of along with friends to lovers. I don't know. I'm just not into that like next door neighbor vibe when it comes to romance in books, like in fictional stories. Again, in real life, in the real world, it's great. It's healthy. We love it. But in fiction, we like different things. So I don't really get excited about that. Normal F paranormal creature. What does F mean? Oh, like F? Like FF? No. I mean, like I've read like cross creature romances, right? Like in fantasy that happens, like, I don't know, we have a vampire and a werewolf, or we have like a human and a fae. So it happens, but like I don't want to read about the F. Like I don't want to read the details of those scenes. You can tell me they did it and fade to black and I'll be fine with it, but like I don't really want to like hear the details of how you like touch tails. So I'm gonna say absolutely not. Old warrior reluctantly helping protagonist. Sure. I don't seek it out, but sure. No, you know what? It's gonna get promoted to only if it's done well, because sometimes it's just such a nice, lovely moment. Opposites attract. I'm gonna say this is fine, but I don't seek it out. Past trauma. This is just something that happens in all books, isn't it? Like we all have our trauma, so it's fine. I don't seek it out. Personal diary in the wrong hands. Ooh, no. Only if it's done well. This can be very exciting. Poor girl, rich guy. I mean, like technically, like ACOTAR is all about poor girl, rich guys, isn't it? I'm gonna say it's fine. I don't seek it out. I don't think I've ever read a billionaire romance, that specific genre, where like I'm guessing it's like poor people meeting like really, really rich people. Pretty mean cheerleader. I don't seek it out, but like it happens. Prophecy beats every time. Like when we get that prophecy, we realize that our main character has to like do these things. Very similar to Chosen One, but I feel like prophecy is just like it has one step up above Chosen One because it's like a prophecy. Like you can't go against the prophecy. The prophecy is what creates the Chosen One, you know? Like you can have a Chosen One without the prophecy, but when you get the Chosen One plus the prophecy, like that's why you have the Chosen One, that eats. Not like the other girl's protagonist. It's fine. Like I don't hate it. It's not something I seek out. It's fine. Reluctant hero. If it's done well, we love a good reluctant hero. We love a modest queen or king. Rivals to lovers. I feel like this one is like one step lower than enemies to lovers, but I'm gonna put it in the same category. I feel like these can be very similar, but like rivals to lovers works better in real life, like contemporary romances, and then enemies to lovers works better in fantasies. I feel like a lot of like real world contemporary romances are advertised as enemies to lovers, but I'm like, in the real world, like, are you actually enemies with anyone? Like, is it really that serious where you're enemies, or like, are you just rivals? You know? So yeah, I feel like these two are basically the same trope, but one is like real world and one is like fantasy world. Sassy ethnic friend. Is this a trope? I guess like anything could be a trope. I don't know. It's another one that's fine, but I don't seek it out. I do love a lot of sassy ethnic friend characters, but it's not something I like look for. Second chance romance. I'm gonna say only if it's done well. This is a step up above friends to lovers, but like with second chance, there was that spark to begin with, so it's like a bit better than friends to lovers. So I'm gonna say, yeah, sure, if it's done well. Self-loathing protagonist. No. We don't do that here. We love ourselves. I feel like with a lot of these self-loathing protagonists, they end up, like they grow to love themselves, and that's like the point of the story. But yeah, I don't know. This just bugs me, so no. Slow burn, eats. No explanation needed. Soulmates, eats. Like mated fantasy characters, yes. Every time. I love a good like mating bond. Spunky comic relief BFF. There's like a lot of these BFF tropes. I'm gonna say it's fine, but I don't seek it out. I love a good BFF character like when they appear, but I feel like I don't like pick up a book to read about a BFF character. Like I'm not gonna pick up a book, read the synopsis and be like, wow, that BFF sounds really hilarious. I want to read this book. I usually pick a book. Are you okay? Oh my gosh.
I just got too excited.
Okay. Huffy just died. But we're almost done this tier list. So what was I saying? Yeah, I don't really pick up a book to read about a BFF, but like when it happens, I like it. So I don't know, I don't seek it out. Stalker love interest. No. No. I feel like this happens a lot in like dark romances, but like I have not read a lot of dark romances. I'm not really like a dark romance reader, so no. Stockholm love, no. It's just not my vibe. Strong female protagonist, yes. You know what? I really want to put this in eats every time, but I feel like similar to Enemies with Lovers, this can be so overdone, especially like these days with romantasy being a very trendy genre. I'm gonna say only if it's done well. I'm sorry, it just got demoted. Summer fling, sure. I love a good summer fling like romance palette cleanser where I can just like turn my brain off and like read about a little cute summer romance. So sure, if it's done well. There's only one bed. There's only one bed. There's only one bed.
How many toilets are there?
Probably one.
Is it a skibbity toilet?
Huffy! Eats. We love a there's only one bed scene. I love watching our main characters like squirm, you know? Token minority character. I don't know. I feel like I don't have strong feelings about this one, but like if you're calling it token, like they have to be there, like they're there just to be a minority, I'm gonna say no. Like, am I reading this card wrong? Like a token minority character sounds like it has a negative connotation to me. Like if there's a minority character there, I like it, but if it's like a token minority character, like it's just there to play the purpose of the minority character, then like, why? Like, why can't they just be a person? Right? Why do they have to be a token minority? I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading that card right. Undiscovered fantasy world. Yes! Yes! I love discovering a new fantasy world. I love like reading first impressions of like stepping into this new world and like needing to learn more about this world. I feel like I love when this happens in fantasies because when we already have an established world, we tend to get a lot of info dumping. Like we have to learn a lot very quick at the beginning of the book. But when we're like discovering it along with our main character, we like discover it as they are, like as they experience things. So it tends to be like a more natural form of world building. And I love it. Unknown superpower. Yeah, eats every time. We love when we come into our powers and discover that we are a lot more strong than we ever thought we were. And that is the final trope that we are ranking on this list. This was a very interesting list. I don't know who put this together because it was just one of the like public templates, as I said, on the tiermaker.com website. And so I don't know who put this together. So we had a lot of like random tropes, I feel like. But we had like some of those main tropes that, you know, everyone talks about as well. So I thought this was fun. I hope Huffy is still alive out there. But that is my tier rank for tropes. I will leave the link to this template in the description box if you want to like take a look and like do it yourself. But there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know if there's anything else you would like to see me tier rank. I feel like I want to do like book boyfriends or something. I feel like that would be a really funny one. But yeah, if you did like this video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what your absolute favorite trope is and what your least favorite trope is. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!